Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day and are having a wonderful weekend as well. And right now, I'm just going to be doing some analysis for the coming month and possibly the coming quarter and the coming weeks as well. So right now, we just closed the quarter and the futures are open, and we could see that we actually printed a new monthly candle for the month of October. We'll start off with the S&P 500. We'll probably start off with some of the major indices. So right now, using Market Cipher, you guys can probably tell we have a red dot, 16, and a -5 on the Dual Band Strength Index, a red dot on Market Cipher A, a red dot on Market Cipher B. And right now, the momentum waves are starting to shift in and possibly curl towards the downside. You're also seeing the VWAP starting to come in as well. So the month of October, I do expect it to be a down month for the market. According to Market Cipher, we'll have to see if that ends up being the case. But for the time being, we'll just take a look at some shorter time frames. So we'll probably look at the daily. You guys have probably tell we have sold off a significant amount, but I do expect the markets to keep going down. So again, I think that we are going to most likely bounce, get a nice little bounce, but I expect this bounce to fail and then potentially start to roll over deeper. And if you guys don't believe me, you can just take a look at the dollar. So the dollar, looking at the new monthly candle that we just printed, the dollar is looking very bullish right now. Looking at it, we just have a -5 and a 16 on the dual band strength index. So again, that is very promising. And you still have some green money flow, and you also printed a green dot last month. So again, you should see continuation in the dollar towards the upside. Looking at the weekly candle, you haven't even put in a top yet in the weekly cycle for the dollar. So again, the dollar should continue higher, and then the dollar on the 1 day time frame, the daily time frame, you guys can probably tell we have not seen any decrease in green money flow and only an increase. And we've seen small pullbacks here and there, as you could probably tell. We got a nice little pullback the other day, and again, the markets flourished. They were extravagantly happy of the dollar finally getting a down day, and then you saw that all of that was erased, and the dollar kept bounced back, and now you saw everyone kind of realizing what was happening, and now the dollars most likely will continue higher. I did have a short-term target, an upside target of 106.5, and that basically was achieved. We actually pierced it by a fair amount, and then we came back in, and so that was a nice little call. But now, if the dollar does keep going up, I would have to do some math here and probably say that we could very easily come back up and double top at 114, or even go a little bit higher and make a nominal high. And you can imagine what that would do to the traditional markets, right? The dollar going up so high, pushing up so high, that would be detrimental, in my opinion, to the equity markets and potentially the bond market as well. We could take a look at the yields right now. The yields are not open, I believe. The yields are open. But I don't think we have printed the new candle just yet. I think we might have to wait like 15 minutes or an hour or something. It'll print out. But right now, the dollar looks very strong, which means the markets could very well keep coming down. So again, that's just my take on the S&P. We could take a look at the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ, you actually have a big shift in momentum as well. You have a 13 and a -2 on the Dual Band Strength Index. You are about to print a red dot on the momentum waves here, and you haven't printed a red dot on the daily on the monthly time frame on Market Cipher A either. But my expectation is that eventually, once the market falls enough, you probably will print it, but by that time, it'll probably be over. So again, I will be looking for more short opportunities into this market. I do expect a bounce potentially in the first couple of weeks of October, and then a dramatic sell-off into the second half of October. And then I believe we could have an opportunity to bounce, and potentially that bounce could fail. And if it fails, then we're going to go to the lower lows. But if it doesn't fail, then the bears had their chance, and we're probably going to retest the all-time highs. But just looking at the setup right now, things do look very, very dire indeed. Okay, so we'll keep going here. I can take a look at the Russell 2000. So the Russell 2000 right now is looking very bearish indeed. And I do expect these cycles to play out like this. So right now, I believe that we are coming down in an ABC pattern on the larger time frames. I'm selecting the wrong tool here. The Elliott wave. So we'll just play like this. So I do believe we are coming down in something like this for the Russell 2000. Same thing for the S&P 500. I do believe we have put in a potential significant top here. And same thing for the triple Qs, or sorry, the NASDAQ. Same thing, same scenario. And then I would say the exact same thing for the Dow Jones. And the Dow Jones is looking like a similar situation like all the other indices, right? As yields go higher, it's very plausible that the equities will go lower. And then there's going to be a lot of opportunities for the market to potentially go lower, and a lot of money to be made. But we'll have to see how everything plays out. That's just my opinion. We could take a look at natural gas here on the new monthly time frame. Right now we actually have a 14 and a -1, so still very bullish. We have been putting in significant consolidation for a long period of time, so I do expect natural gas to take out the highs here of $3. And once we do that, I think we are going to potentially get a very big short squeeze, and that is going to propel natural gas to potentially some new highs. Okay. All right. I don't have much to add here. Maybe we could take a look at oil very quickly. Oil, as on the monthly time frame, is looking a little less bullish, especially once we start to run into some resistance here. But you still have a lot of green money flow. You might be looking to buy the dip if oil does dip. But overall, on the weekly time frame, you actually printed a red dot right now on this new weekly candle. So we'll have to follow it closely. And if it does end up coming back in and we don't get back into green money flow, then that'll be the top for oil, and oil will go lower. Probably recession fears, stuff like that. Anyways, I don't have much to add. Hopefully this video helps you out. And again, if you are following the S&P, then you can keep up to date with me. All right, peace, guys. Have a good weekend.